Well, g'day, Heels. We're back again. We've had an eventful couple of days, haven't we? With we got so close to round one of the senior BPL at Norths on Sunday. We were actually down there. I was handing out uniforms to our under-19 team at 10 o'clock, and at about 10:05, the Premier came on and locked us down. So there was some fairly upset 19-year-old boys in our squad, but they roll with the punches pretty well. I think that's the key message at the moment. Don't get stressed about this stuff. Just roll with it, and we'll get there. How's your lockdown been?
It's been all right. I'm nearly over it. I think these Olympics will be the strongest watched Olympics there's ever been. But we may be grateful that they are on. I'm done. I want to get into this BPL and sort of turn the facility that was turned out on for Sunday into reality. How good did it look? And I'm sure Redlands for the 19s were doing just as good a job out there too, and a lot of players disappointed.
I was looking at a picture when I was there, and I got a call from Rob, who's our next guest, Rob Comiskey from the Comiskey family group of venues, and Rob had his gig rig down there, which is a massive B-double semi-trailer, which was there ready to go. It would have been unreal. 2 stories of bars and entertainment and food, and overlooking the Ian Healy Oval and the Pettigrew Oval and the Dimmick Oval. It would have been the best thing since sliced bread down there. But anyway, maybe another time. And
well, the sorts of things we had as we introduced Rob. Good afternoon, mate. How are you?
Afternoon, guys.
We had everything lined up. Even the envious Norths clubbies who trained there on Thursday night saw the gig rig, and they went, "What is this? How good is this going to be?" So they were on to me straight away. KO we're about to televise our games. They're going to do that each time we play. Two of the major games. They were stoked with the background of the shot, which is the gig rig, and the people that were going to be in it. And the sponsors, they've signed Mazda up as a major sponsor. It's all happening other than COVID, mate. But we want to whinge zero compared to you, because those big venues, one of which you can see behind your head, do so much great work for community, and you need community, and you do such good work for community, and none of it's working at the moment with this current lockdown on such a big scale for you.
Yeah, it's a bit of a nightmare. It's just rolling with the punches, and then rolling with the punches again. Like for us, it's just we move events, concerts, functions, weddings, DJs, you name it, and on a daily basis we're reorganizing them, putting on a new date, then we're reorganizing them again. Like we've got on the 4th of September, we've got Paul Kelly. Now this will be the 3rd date for him. I was supposed to have him last year in June, so it's rolled back and it's rolled back and it's rolled back. So, and if it doesn't change, it'll roll back again.
Rob, I've spoken on this show a few times about how good your venues are, and the Eaton's Hill and Sandstone Points. I don't think you'll find a better venue or a pub in Australia. I think they're awesome pubs. So it'd be interested to hear how you got into this and how you started. Your dad and your mum and your other brother David, how you got into this type of venue creation and doing up parcels of land around the place and creating these great venues. How did it all start?
Well, it all started probably, I don't know, about 30 years ago or something. So my father used to do small shopping centres. So, ones with little IGAs and a few shops in them. And then they kind of got bigger and bigger. And then one of them, which was a Burpengary, had a bit of a vacancy in it. And there was a thing where back then you could do a bar and grill, which is like a small hotel. And you could do it quite easily. And so we opened one of them up, very steep learning curve on the first hospitality venue. We got ripped off by a few managers and quickly learnt that you either got to know what you're doing or get out of them. So I was young and dumb enough to step in at that stage and said, I'll give it a go and see how we go. And learnt very quickly that, what makes these things work and what not to do. And then from then we went from that venue to owning 3 venues. So that was Woodpecker Tavern, Rainbow Tavern, and also Finnegan's Gym, which is an Irish pub at Clangar. And then we sold them to Headley, a big developer up the north coast, or up Cairns way. And then we got out for a little bit. And then myself and my brother opened a venue at Beachmere, and my dad later bought into that. So we opened a shopping centre and pub there, and then in which we still own that today. That's 13 years ago. And then from there, we only did things together. We all had separate companies. So, but we formed a partnership of the three of us. So my brother owns a third, I own a third, and my dad and mum own a third. And then we opened the Edens Hill Hotel, which at the time we bought a block of land, which ex golf driving range, which is a bit weird. We bought that, and we thought we'd build a pub. And as usual, we started building it, or started designing it. It just got a bit bigger and bigger and bigger, and it just got silly. And then it ended up being 7,500 square meters, 4 levels, and can fit about up to about 8,000 people inside. So yeah, it's a bit got bigger. And then after that, we opened that up, and that, when that opened up, it was the biggest thing that anything, a kind of hotel that had opened in Queensland or even Australia. So we'd had like 3.5 hour lineups to get in on a Friday and Saturday night for the first 6 months. So it was crazy times back then. And then we had to work out how to do it and make it into a sustainable model to go for, business model. Then we were not looking to open another venue, and then we found this block of land that was unbelievable, which is Sandstone Point Hotel, or Sandstone Point parcel of land. That's 33 hectares on the water. So we decided that we wanted to build a hotel on that. We purchased that property, put a hotel right next to the Bribie Island Bridge, and that's kind of the hotel portion. It's probably about 7 hectares, and it's got about 3,500 square meter venue on it. And that has everything from live concerts, which 15 to 20,000 could do. It has 11 of those major concerts. It has strawberry festivals and oyster festivals and bonfire festival, which was only last weekend. We barely got away with that, 6,500 people. And then, so yeah, there's that side of it. And then on the other side, we built a Big 4 caravan park. And again, our first caravan park, we'd never owned one of them before. And we decided to do something a little bit different. So we kind of looked at it and went, we're going to build a 5-star caravan park. So kind of a cross between a 5-star resort and a caravan park. And that cost us almost 20 million to build. And at the time, everyone said we were insane, but then everyone said we're insane for Edens Hill and Sandstone as well. So we're kind of used to it. We do things a little bit out of the box. Anyway, that's the #1 Big 4 in Australia now. So it's booked out constantly. And yeah, we're out there expanding it at the moment. We're putting another 87 villas on it. Oh, sorry, 87 sites and 42 villas. So yeah.
Oh, that's good. How good are those Big 4s? And yours is the best I've ever seen. With all that infrastructure, planning, forward thinking, you've got a lot of staff, I'm imagining. And these lockdowns put a lot of pressure on businesses to try to give your staff enough hours and money. Otherwise, you're going to lose them. They've got to go somewhere else when the time's right for them. Are you under that sort of pressure?
Oh, 100%. This week has been a nightmare. 3-day lockdowns we can get through without too much trouble. I mean, they hurt us. Like, we'll lose somewhere in the vicinity of $200,000 on a 3-day lockdown. But when you talk weeks, and we're currently in one that obviously is a week, everyone's saying it's going to go to 2. But you have a look at last year when we had 3 months. That was almost like surreal. We go out to the resort, or Sandstone, Big 4, and it'd be empty. There was 2 people in there, which are essential travellers. You're talking about something that usually fits 1,000 people in there to accommodate 2. We've got an accommodation tower here at Edens Hill, which is 90 rooms, 4.5 star, and it's currently running at about 8% occupancy. So that's a corporate travel market. So Sydney and Melbourne are locked down. No one's traveling to Brisbane, obviously, being a hot zone or a red zone. So yeah, it hits us on a number of fronts. And in the shopping centres, obviously, we've got tenants that are under financial stress because, they can't trade. So they look to us for support. And where do we look for support? Because at the moment, we don't have JobKeeper, we don't have anything. So, and we're not even eligible for the $5,000 grant because we have too big a payroll. We've got $13 million worth of wages to pay per year. And when this happens, it drops 85% of our revenue in day one. So we can't sit around and wait for decisions to be made from the state government or the federal government. We've got to start standing down our 480 employees pretty much straight away, because if we don't, our overheads just chew our revenue. Well, we've got no revenue, so they just chew our savings instantly.
It'd be intriguing, Rob, to see how you manage all your people, especially in events. It's such a stressful type of environment, and it's fluid, isn't it? It's moving, and
100%.
You've got to be able to adjust. And I love watching really good event managers because they're just so level-headed and they don't get stressed out, and that's a real skill. And I even see PJ over at the Inns Hill Hotel. He's just a really good level-headed manager, and I've never seen him get too stressed. But there must be moments where the heat gets that hot that things just explode. And I'd be interested to hear. I assume you've got great staff who you have to call on because you can't be everywhere. And
100%.
I'd be interested to hear how you try and manage that.
I don't pretend to do it all. We've got unbelievable staff, and really, when you've got great managers like we do, and Brad and PJ and Sally and Murray and all those guys are just, they can do things that don't get me wrong, they had to learn them. No one comes in with a skill set of what we kind of do. What we do is very unique, so they have to learn that. But that's something they learn on the job. Once you do your first one, obviously you learn 90% of the problems. We did our first one at Sandstone, which was Beach Boys. We brought the Beach Boys over from America to open Sandstone up. And it was only about 3.5 to 4, I think it was about 4,000 people. Now, we do 4,000 is probably one of our smallest ones, and it's kind of almost boring to do 4,000. But that one there, I can tell you now, I was the most stressed I've ever been. It was, at the end of it, I just sat down and had a drink at the end of the night after working ridiculous hours, and I just went, if this is stressful, I'm not doing this again. But now we'll do 10,000 people, and everyone knows what they've got to do. We learn from each concert. We sit down, we have a wash-up meeting afterwards. We have many meetings before, and we've got a good team and also good infrastructure behind us regarding the people we deal with. We just bought another site up the Sunshine Coast, which we're looking to do festivals on, and it's a lot bigger. It's 150 hectares. And the people we're consulting with are like, the people who help run, Big Day Out, and then we'll also do Blues Fest and also do Splendour in the Grass. So, the experience, we don't go in and go, we should be right. We go in with, we'll know we'll be right because we've got the right people with us. And then really the hard part is just the biggest thing is getting the big acts. And there's a lot of risk. A lot of people take a lot of risk in doing this. And we have 30 concerts a year that we take a lot of risk in. We have partnerships from everything from Touch Base, which is out of Sydney. We own a third of that. Spring Loaded, we own 50% of that. Red Hot Summers, we do one in Noosa, one in Toowoomba. We don't own the ones at Sandstone, but we partnership with the guys on that. So, they're very good operators. And, we get all the people come to us all the time. And they're like, oh, I want to hold this. And we're like, no, we'll be right. Because it's just too much risk. And if you don't do it well, we'd rather not do it at all.
Yeah. So not as risky, mate. You've joined the BPL. You've partnered with us at the Northern Kings.
Yeah.
What was the light behind that? What was the moment there that you thought, yeah, we'll have a go here. We like it.
No, I just thought it was a unique concept. Like when you have a look at it, and you talked about with me the history of it and the idea behind it, and how there's no real pipeline to the T20. So I was like, well, that's cool. And you showed me how it worked in South Africa and so forth. And I was like, well, and then you had the right people behind it as well. So you had a good skill set. It wasn't like, hey, we've never done anything like this before. Let's just give it a go. Yes, it hadn't been done before, but you guys have obviously got the skill set behind you to pull something like this off, and we'll have a look at it. So far, it's been nothing but professional.
And Rob, I know you've got a young fellow who loves cricket, and he's a little bit young at the moment, but it's probably something he'll be keeping his eye on for the future.
100%. We've got an 8-year-old little boy. Sorry, he's 10. I've got an 8-year-old twin girls, but he's 10. He's at Nudgee, and he loves cricket. So every time I go on a Saturday, I have to go and watch him play cricket and so forth. And he's out in the yard practicing and making me bowl to him. So yeah, no, he's a big fan.
Yeah, well, don't forget to get into the the clinics, if we ever get around going of the BPL 01, well, there's clinics every day run by the Bulls Masters and some coaches and stuff like that. Yeah. What about your involvements in sport? You know, it's integral to the community. Gee, you must have plenty of requests, but also plenty of involvements in your local areas.
Yeah, we try not to spread ourselves a bit too thin regarding that. You know, everyone wants a little bit, and we'd rather do some bigger stuff. And one of the things we do, which we just held 2 weeks ago, was we do a sportsman's lunch every year. We had 630 people come to that sportsman's lunch. It's booked out every year for the last 9 years. We've raised $207,000 for 2 teams. So that's the Albany Creek Crushers and also the Sanford Stags. So every year, you know, we get people like from Jonathan Thurston. We had Joel Parkinson, the surfer, come in 2 weeks ago, and it's great. We get, you know, different. We had Lenny. He actually came a few years ago, so he's a bit of a wild card. So it was good. You know, we try and give them that rather than just that NRL. It's that really, it's great stories from great people and across different fields. So it's not boring each year. You know, you don't want the same things. You know, tell us what you were thinking as you walk out onto the field, that kind of stuff. It's more, you know, tell us about life experiences and stuff that are funny. And yeah, it's great. Lutzy, you know, he hosts it each year. It's great. We raised some really good money. And as I said, we put it on sale for next year. And in the first 2 days, we sold 300 tickets in the first 2 days. And we haven't even announced who the sports stars are. And it doesn't really matter anymore because we just get great people along. They know it's going to be entertaining. We always deliver the food's great, so everyone just goes, I don't care who's coming, I just want to come along, because it's just an annual day where everyone gets there, gets a bit loose, and listens to some great people.
Rob, you're our principal partner, so I'll put my camera down, but hopefully front and center on. Hopefully get to see them in action one day. We've got a few shirts for you that I've been trying to get to you for a few weeks. But we've had 2 functions this year. You've been to our sportsman's lunch and you've also been to our auction night. And I think you and David and Paul have had a good time. So I'd be interested to hear how you've enjoyed it so far, being part of our club.
Oh, for sure. Like the auction night was interesting. It was obviously the first one you'd done. So it was a bit of a fluid situation. We talked about those events, and obviously you had to speed it up, and but it was good. It was like, it was, you know, it was always happening, and also sitting at the table with Heels and yourself, and in seeing that whole bidding process and what your thoughts are behind and who you were aiming for. It was very interesting and very unique. And the lunch as well, I thought was great. You know, John Williamson there playing to such a small audience, and as you know, I get to see a lot of artists. But the best ones are the ones like that, because it's so intimate, so unique, and you can tell he was emotional about playing to us. It was a heartfelt, you know, songs. He just didn't sit there and like, I'm just here to play a few and take my money and leave. It was something special, and that's why I wanted my dad to come along and hear it as well, because I knew it would be pretty cool. So, and it was delivered in every way.
Yeah, I loved your dad. He sort of said, so this cricket thing, it's going to be good, is it? That was it.
Well, I did talk to him about it, and I was like, hey, this is going on. And they're like, if you want to do it, you do it. And I'm like, it's worth it. I tried to explain it to them, but it's hard to explain them and get them down at the same table. So, but yeah, it's good that they go along to the events and they can see what we were talking about. And so it's good. They're no big support.
Yeah, you've got to be in front of that. And see Dom's back sign too, the massive sign he's put up on his back wall.
Yeah, there you go.
This is not the only time that's been up, mate. It's been up for every podcast we've ever done.
Mate, where's on the map in the background there? You should have Ian's Hill tagged in where it is.
I've got Australia here today. Oh, that would have been
like a little Ian's Hill tag on the Australia would be nice. Small touches. That's all I'm saying, guys. Small touches.
We love being involved with you, mate. We hope we can show you heaps more and use your facilities heaps more, and create some opportunities for a whole lot of people to see your venues over time. So let's hope, eh?
No, too easy. I hope we this COVID thing goes away pretty quickly and we can get back to business as usual. But yeah, we've got some pretty exciting things coming up. We've got another 4 hotels coming up and another resort coming up the Sunshine Coast. So we've got to get on and get these things built.
Yeah, you're a busy boy. I know you've and if it's anything by what you've done in the last, 10 to 15 years, I'm sure they'll be awesome. And the venues are always really smick, so I think they'll be great. We normally just finish off with a few questions, Rob, so we'll put you under a bit of pressure here and ask you a couple of questions. So the first one is, if you're only allowed to listen to one more song for the rest of your life, what would it be, do you think?
I don't know. I've got a bit of a Paul Kelly thing at the moment, because probably I'm waiting to see him soon. So I'd probably say Making Gravy is one of my favourites at the moment, which is good because it's an Australian song. But I look forward to seeing him play that one.
Yeah, that'll be good. Another one is, what would be your dream job, do you think?
Oh, that's a hard one. Well, I'm an architect by trade, so I don't know if I'd want to be an architect. I love architecture, but drawing it up, I love the art of it, but I don't know. Dream job. I don't know. Something about travel or something, I suppose. That we can't travel now, so that'd be good. But as far as I'm saying, people say that if you hop up each morning and you're happy with, with what you do, it's not considered a job. And I don't hop up on a Monday morning and go, oh my God, I have to go to work. So I'm pretty, I couldn't think of another job I'd rather do than the one I've currently got. So I'm pretty lucky.
Yeah. I think a lot of people would probably look at what you're doing and think that'd be awesome to do what you and your family are doing. It's cutting edge.
It's stressful. Look, we've got, especially this week, and we've got a lot of employees, and that always makes things pretty stressful. And when things go wrong, they go wrong on a big scale. But that creative side, all the way from when we do our events, we create that bonfire festival out of nothing. And mate, I was laying in bed one night and come up with that and said, let's do a bonfire festival. And I saw that because someone posted something in America or something, which they do bonfire festivals in America. So let's have a go at it, mate. 3 months later, in the middle of winter, we're doing a bonfire festival, and 6,000-7,000 people showing up for it. Now, that's just, we took it from just a bonfire to there's fireworks and there's flame shows and people running around with, big stilt walkers with a full firefighting outfits on and all this kind of stuff. Which is, it's a full show. It ain't just a bonfire, but just coming up with that creative side is what drives my passion.
Yeah, oh, that's great. Well, look, Heels and I have been talking about creating a little event of our own where we go to the Eaton's Hill and have dinner and stay at the pub for the night, and then we go to Sandstone, do something there, stay up at the resort, and then we were going to finish it off by going up Sunshine Coast and watching the BPL. So hopefully, if this COVID thing goes,
by helicopter, is that the way you want to do it?
Yeah. Well, might if you're offering, we might jump in a helicopter.
Well, it's the fastest way to get there. So
you have told me about a few little close shavings with that helicopter. That makes me a little bit nervous.
The old one. Yeah, the new one's good. You got
a new one. That's good.
It's a lot bigger. It's a turbine. So the old one was an R44. So yeah, it's a bit smaller. It's like being in a tin can, kind of flying along. But this one's a lot bigger. But yeah, no, it's always good fun to go for a bit of flying that.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. Well, great to have you on, Rob.
When the Northern Kings win the premiership, down comes a helicopter, out comes Comiskey.
Yeah, there we go. I'll fly in as a major sponsor and land in the middle of the field. And I'll hop out and with tons of beer underneath my arms and something like that. Got to keep in
Put them in the gig ring.
Sounds great, man. Well, we appreciate everything that you support, Rob, and hopefully we'll get to see you face to face for a beer soon, and we'll get this cricket up and running as well.
No problem. Thanks for having me, guys.
That's Rob. All the best for the next couple of weeks, mate.
All good. Thanks, guys.